On August 21st, 1955, Billy Ray Taylor, a resident of Pennsylvania, was visiting his friend Lucky Sutton and his family at their rural farmhouse near the towns of Hopkinsville and Kelly in Kentucky. At around 7 PM that night, Billy Ray went outside to fetch some water from the family well when he saw something off in the distance. It was a large, glowing object, and it appeared to be landing in a nearby gully. Understandably surprised by this, Billy Ray immediately ran back inside to tell the Sutton family what he had just witnessed, only to be met with ridicule and laughter. The Suttons believed Billy Ray was joking and trying to pull a prank and dismissed it as such. This dismissal didn't last long, however, as the Suttons' dog, who was normally very well behaved, started barking and growling as if something was outside. It then proceeded to hide underneath the house and stayed there for the remainder of the night. Lucky and Billy immediately grabbed a couple of firearms, believing someone may have been trespassing on the farm. They weren't wrong. When the two men got outside, they saw something they would never forget. Slowly emerging from the nearby wood was a 4-foot tall creature. Its hands were in the air as if surrendering to the men. The creature was later described as having large eyes, an extremely long mouth, pointy bat-like ears, and claws for hands. It also seemed to be wearing silver metallic clothing. The creature, still walking towards two men, was only 20 feet away and getting closer. Very scared at this point, both Billy Ray and Lucky shot at the creature. The creature did a backflip and then ran back into the woods. Billy Ray and Lucky both stated in later interviews that there was no way they could have missed from that range. So believing they had wounded the creature, they set off to see if they could find it, when they saw another creature crouched on the porch awning. They shot at it and the same thing happened, a backflip, and then it ran away. Both men ran back into the house after hearing a scream from one of the other family members. A third creature was now stood outside one of the windows. Once again the men shot at it and it ran away. This continued for some time, with more and more creatures appearing. The family could hear scratching on the roof as if there was something trying to get in. Now under an extreme amount of stress and fearing for their lives, the family piled into 2 vehicles and drove to the closest police station, which was in Hopkinsville. There they spoke to the police chief, a Russell Greenwell, who believed the family had experienced something they couldn't explain. He also went on to say these families were not the type of people to just make up stories like this, and could tell they were sincere. A police officer with medical training examined the family, and all had elevated heart rates, presumably due to the extreme stress. 20 police officers accompanied the family back to the farmhouse, and a thorough investigation took place. Several of the police officers entered the house and found bullet holes on the walls and windows from where the family had been shooting at the creatures. With the investigation finished and no intruders on site, the police left. Not long after that, the creatures returned and harassed the family for another couple of hours until eventually leaving. There were several factors in this incident that I found extremely interesting, and there's so much more to this incident that if I were to go over it all, would probably be here for hours. However, one of the more interesting things about this alien encounter was the collaborating evidence. During the police investigation, they of course interviewed some of the neighbouring houses. How close these houses were to the farmhouse, I'm not sure, but the neighbours reported hearing gunfire and seen several strange lights in the sky. The police also found a couple of luminescent green patches on the ground where the creatures had allegedly been shot, but no samples were ever collected, and it was gone by the morning. A police officer also claimed while in his police vehicle that he could see a strange light in the sky. It is my understanding that this police officer was also separate from the investigation and was not part of the 20-man team. These creatures, as I've been calling them, were later dubbed the Hopkinsville Goblins, and although the goblins were silver, many referred to them as Little Green Men, which is actually where the popular term came from. Another interesting note is that even though this was an horrific and terrifying for all those involved, it was actually Steven Spielberg's inspiration for the blockbuster E.T. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I am Metronome, and thanks for watching.